Not only is it the 27th birthday of one Travis Konechny, not only is it one of my favorite holidays on the counter, 3/11 Day. The tweet that went out at midnight from the PHLY Flyers account, I scheduled weeks ago. I scheduled a happy birthday for midnight for Travis Konechny and Shane Gostisbehere. Those are the only ones I have memorized for some reason. But not only is it those 2 days, it is also just another Mailbag Monday. So we have some questions to get to from our loyal listeners, and we will get to them right now. And we're leading it off with Ethan Freeman. And he asks, with Bradshaw getting love on Monday's 32 Thoughts about him being the supposed bench boss during Torts' suspension, what will the Flyers' approach be for him come the offseason? He is a commodity for the Flyers, D, but he's probably got a chance to be a head coach somewhere else if they let him. I do believe, I know it works in the NFL. If you get like a promotion, you can just go. If it's a similar position, you have to have the team's approval in the NFL. I have to assume in the NHL, like if someone has the someone has a head coach offer for you, they can't be like, well, you're a defensive coordinator, so you got to stay. Right. I can't imagine that's the case. And
I don't think
Torts did like leave the bench last year at the end of the season and let his guys, let his assistants coach the team. One would assume to kind of highlight them and give them like, oh no, like I totally trust them, to put them on display for the rest of the league as coaching candidates. We just kind of said this, but do you think if Torts isn't ready to hang it up yet, which doesn't seem like it, he's got a broken hand, whatever the hell's going on with him. He's coaching, and he's flipping off referees and the media and going nuts. Yelling. Like, you got to believe he's got a few more years in him. Should they promise Shaw, like, you're the heir apparent, just hold tight? Or, like, what?
I don't know. After that performance on Saturday, I don't think I would hire Bradshaw. He should stay in Philly forever.
If you couldn't turn Eric Johnson
7-0, no thank you.
Eric Johnson, Ronnie Attard, and I don't even know. Who were the five? It was Sanheim, York, Johnson, Attard, and it's someone who's been here, right? I can't even think of who the fifth one was.
Who was it?
I can't even remember. That's what
was it?
We're gonna feel so stupid when we can't find this.
Because Zamula was out still.
Zamula was out sick. That's why they only had the 5.
Someone in the comments come through. Who was the fifth defenseman?
I have the box score right here. It was Stahl.
That's
Jesus,
what I said. Mark Stahl.
Mark
Duh.
Stahl.
I said that. You didn't hear me? What?
So Mark Stahl is 37. Eric Johnson
is also 500 years old.
Turns 36 in like a week or two. Ronnie Attard is 8th or 9th on the depth chart. We saw Cam York leave a game against Florida and come back.
Yeah.
Sanheim got hurt in the game. Yeah, I mean,
it's not great.
If Bradshaw couldn't do anything with that,
who
the fuck? Yeah, no. I guess
I do feel like if you sense that teams are sniffing around, I don't know how you let this guy go, man. I really don't.
What I'll say is,
let Rocky coach the next ones. Get him a little spotlight.
John Tortorella, with less than 2 years behind the Flyers bench, is like one of the longer tenured head coaches in this league. There is a tremendous possibility Bradshaw leaves, and by the time you're ready to replace John Tortorella, he's available again.
He's been fired. Yeah, that's very fair.
There's a really strong chance that he's available again, or you've brought him back to coach the defense again, and he's here, whatever that is. But the idea of him being a commodity right now as a defensive coach is the biggest deal to me. Like,
yes.
Jamie Drysdale hasn't had enough time with this guy.
No, I need him with him.
I want him learning. Like, I want him coaching Oliver Bonk.
Yeah.
Like, these are things that are down the line that I hope we have this guy for, because he's sort of, I'm getting Jeff Stoutland vibes where he might like be the secret sauce to the success.
And here's the thing, like, this is where having an owner like Comcast Spectacor helps you, because there's no rule that says you can't pay an assistant coach $20 million.
Ain't no cap on coaches.
No, pay that dude whatever he wants.
You can make him
$50 million.
50.
Take it.
You can make him the highest paid assistant and not
Sure
bat
can.
an eye at it. It's Comcast.
Yeah.
You have all the money imaginable. There should not be a budget. I mean, I'm sure
I don't think there is.
There's a budget, but like you can easily fit in like, oh yeah, we have the highest paid assistant. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who cares?
No one.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Nope.
You know what cable bills are these days? My parents still have cable. It's astronomical.
It's hilarious.
It's true.
What my parents pay for cable.
And they have no channels.
I steal it from them.
Way
I'm
to
an
go.
adult.
All right. Another frequent questioner on Mailbag Mondays. Paul with the great car ideas. What do you think the team is going to miss? What do you think the team is going to miss most about Shawn Walker? And what potential do you see in a defenseman on the team to make up for that hole and or grow in the game to bring something equally as valuable so the team as a whole does not suffer? That's a great question.
It is a great question.
I think the ability to move the puck and not be a liability defensively. I do think he and Nick Seeler made a great pair together because they complemented each other so well. But you have him out there on the penalty kill, and it's the best penalty kill in the league. Like, I bet you he's pretty good defensively, too.
Yeah.
I think Cam York might be able to fill that hole, but he's kind of been doing it all year.
Hopefully.
So you need another guy to fit in there. I don't know if they have it on the current roster. Maybe Jamie Drysdale down the line, but again, we've seen him. We saw him for like a day, and he went away. I wonder if like Ian LePerriere can maybe get that out of Emile Andre before he comes back up. Like he's got that puck moving ability. He's got that chance taking, join the rush.
That would be nice.
Sort of mentality. Can he turn that into a dude that you can still trust in the defensive zone on the penalty kill? That's Ian LePerriere and Brad Shaw's job to figure out.
Yeah. I'm not sure I've fully, or any of us really have fully been able to grasp what we're going to miss about Shawn Walker. They
played one of their best games of the season in the first game without him.
Yeah.
And then the second game without him, it was a fake game after 10 minutes.
I wonder what Nick Seeler is going to look like without Shawn Walker.
That's maybe the biggest concern.
Because Nick Seeler before Shawn Walker was like a fine 6'7". Fine.
Extra guy.
Extra guy. Just a guy.
He's a replacement level player. All of a sudden, he was a 4.
Now he's like a top 4 defenseman that we've just given a contract to 4 years, whatever, 2.7. I don't know what to expect. I worry that is going to be like the biggest drop off, is that Nick Seeler less Shawn Walker is just going to be, I'm not going to say a disaster, but like he's just going to go back to being just a guy.
Like next November, because I have no idea when Sealer's going to be back, and I have no idea how long the season's going to go. So I'm just going to fast forward to like the first 2 weeks of next November, and we're like, the fuck did we do?
We're stuck with him for 4 years.
Danny, what did you do?
Oh,
now,
no.
Listen, and that's it's not the Andrew McDonald contract. No. It is not going to bury them. It's less than 4% of next year's cap. So like, cool.
Yeah.
But that is a good one. Like, what exactly is Nick Seeler without Shawn Walker? Because listen, Nick Seeler was a tough son of a bitch before team guy, you know, nice story and all.
Sure.
But what was he prior to this pairing?
Mark Dunk.
It was
he was a guy.
Yeah, it was Mark Dunk. Exactly. Like, he was just some guy.
Yeah.
We were like, what's he doing in the line? Oh, yeah, he's in there because he fought Nick Delorier. Way to go.
That's it.
Like, oh, cool. That's why you dress a defenseman. He has turned himself into something. What is that something going to be without Shawn Walker? That might be the thing.
We're going to find out.
We are. That's like a great cut for the for a social clip right there. All right, from Colin. Hi, guys.
Hi.
With Danny and company selling while making small ads at the deadline, do you see them having the same strategy this offseason? Risto, maybe Cam Atkinson buyout, etc. Or do you see them potentially making a hockey trade as well, possibly for Trevor Zegras? Thanks. Yeah, I think it's...
Why not both?
Yeah, they could do both. I do think it might be a little more incremental.
Yeah.
who the hell knows what's going to be on this blue line still available? Like, I have no idea.
No.
I guess other stuff is possible. From everything I heard about the Zegras situation, they have checked in.
Yeah.
But don't have what it takes to make it happen.
Right.
Anaheim isn't like, he's untouchable. But they are like, we need a lot.
Yeah. Or we're just going to keep him.
We need a whole lot.
Yeah.
That said, the Flyers have 8 picks in the first 2 rounds over the next 2 years and a pretty highly thought of farm system. Mm-hmm. Perhaps after they've collected all the assets they have, maybe there's something to be said for that.
There could be.
Maybe they have more now than they did when they made this phone call a few weeks ago. That's a possibility. Am I expecting Trevor Zegras? No. I think the big splash is still maybe a year away.
Yeah. I do think that they're going to try to do some stuff. I do think that some of these injuries might hamper. Like, I think if Risto had the year that he had last season this year, we were probably looking at a for sure Risto trade this summer, especially if we had seen playoff Risto and he had been cromulent to good. I don't know if we're going to see him get traded now because I forget what he looks like. Torts said something in media availability today where he was like, "Oh, no one talks about Rasmus Ristolainen because you guys don't like him." No, it's because I forget because it's been so long since I've seen him that it's like, what are we going to ask about Rasmus Ristolainen? Where even is he? He's on the island with Ryan. So I could see like that trade not happening this summer just because of that. The Lawton thing probably seems like a long shot at this point because I think in our minds we have overvalued Scott Lawton. I don't think that the value that he has around the league is probably as high as we want it to be. So I do think that this summer could just be like little surgical moves, maybe something at the draft. A hockey trade would be cool, but I don't know which of our players, like who is the needs a change of scenery guy on the Flyers right now? I don't know.
Ryan Johansson. Yeah. No, see, I actually disagree with the Risto part of that.
Ooh.
I think if he had the same year he did last year, in which he did miss 8 games, not a ton, but he missed some time to start the year, the Flyers could go, okay, we've turned him into something who's going to help us. Now it's like, this dude gets hurt a lot.
He does.
We're paying him $5 million to not play. He hasn't played since February 10th. He missed part of the beginning of this season. I think they might be more open to moving on from him than they were a year ago.
Who would want him?
You're going to have to retain. That's going to probably be the situation unless it's one of those dumb teams that valued him at a first-round value. Like, when Chuck Fletcher traded for him, it was like, other teams would have traded a first for him. Sure. And it was like, Montreal. How they doing?
What are they doing right
bad
now?
Teams. Congratulations. Yeah. I think maybe you don't get a big return for him, but I do see a need to open up some roster spots. And my belief right now is a team like Toronto or somebody is going to come up short in the playoffs, specifically in a series against the Florida Panthers, in which the Panthers beat the shit out of them in however many games it goes. They just pummel them black and blue. And then that team goes, we need to get fucking tougher so we can beat them. And then they do the Flyers get beaten up by the Blues. And so Ed Snyder says, never again, and we become the bullies. They do their version of that by bringing in Lawton and Risto. That is my belief.
I love it. It's extremely Toronto too.
Yeah, they are
the prime. We need Toronto.
If a team does this, again. Like if I was making odds, Toronto is off the board. They are at least minus 300 to do this. If you bet on them, you will get no return. They are minus 300 right now. If a team does this, is them. But I can see a number of teams falling into that. Oh, we got to get tougher narrative. And it's like, yeah, man, like. Scott Lawton makes you mentally tougher. He's not as good as Matt Tkachuk, though. So good luck. Thanks. Thanks for whatever the return is. But I do wonder, like
Lawton for Tkachuk. Who says no?
I thought they were building up Lawton so much oh, it's going to have to be an overpay, like to prepare us for them trading him. And the fact that it didn't happen,
Yeah.
I wonder if the appetite is out there for him the way it was this summer.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
He's not having a good year. Like, he's come on recently, but the first half of the season was real bad. And people saw that. So, you know, it is what it is.
All right. Let's see if we can get to a few more here. From Praise the Puck. Cam York seems like a certainty for being a good top 4 defenseman here after all his work this season. But what is his ceiling based on what we've seen so far, and how likely is it for him to hit that ceiling? I think, like, if I were to make a player comp, it would be better defensive Matt Carl.
Yeah,
like,
that feels
could
right.
play on a top pair. I mean, you know, he played on a top. He was not a top pairing defenseman, right, but he had one of the best ever next to him, so he was. Like, decent second pair guy. I think he and Travis Sanheim are very similar. And so I'm starting to look at him, Sanheim, and Drysdale and going, I bet you one ain't here that long. Say they do want to make a hockey trade. Say they are looking at Trevor Zegras.
Cam York is a good one.
I know, and like he's part of that crew, Drysdale, York, and Zegras, they're all pals, so it would be kind of funny to trade one for the other. But it just like looking at what they have.
Yeah.
You know, and looking at what, say, Anaheim has. You know what they have? A ton of forwards. A whole bunch of forwards.
Not a lot.
That's why they're open to trading a Trevor Zegras. Yeah. Maybe he's that piece that gets you over the top, whereas a couple of weeks ago, they were like, no, we can't trade him. And now it's, well, maybe we can. So I wonder if he hits his ceiling here, but I think his ceiling is, like you said, good top 4 defenseman, but he's not a needle mover for me. He's good.
No.
I've liked what I've seen, especially lately.
Yeah, he's been better.
He seems to really take into the defensive side of the game this season. Want to see a little bit more offense out of him consistently. I also know that's tough to do when Travis Sanheim's like deep in the zone a lot. Yeah, like someone has to be back. So I like Cam York. I don't love him.
I wanted more from him.
Yeah.
I really did. And I'm not sure we're going to get it. I do think second pair is his absolute ceiling. Do I think he's going to hit it? Yeah. Is he going to be a 3 or a 4? That's, I think, debatable. I don't know if he's like, you know, the anchor on a second pair or if he's just like the other guy on a second pair. That, I think, remains to be seen. I definitely don't think at this point he's got top pair potential. Not at all. Which stinks. Because I think that's what we wanted from him. We keep trying for that number 1 defenseman.
Draft day comparable, Brian Leach.
Oh, God, they did say that, didn't they? Jesus Christ.
I will fucking never get over it.
Why would you say that?
Because he's American.
I know, but you can't say that out loud.
Literally, if he was from Sweden, they would have never said that. It's truly.
Brian Leach. Good God. Like, hang that around his neck forever.
Absolutely incredible. A couple of questions from our pal Stackatoshi here. We'll start with this one. Are you worried about the front office's lack of ability to plan for contingencies when things go wrong, i.e. not having an extra D on a road trip? Here's the thing. They did. Then they sent some dudes down, and they had 1 game left of this road trip. And everyone was healthy when they went to bed that night.
And then they weren't.
Igor Zamula woke up sick, and they didn't have a 6th. So they tried to get Adam Ginning back, but were unable to get him on a plane. I think they got him a ticket, and it got delayed. It was a whole... So, like...
How does Comcast not have a plane?
Maybe there's bad weather. They were using it for something else. Who the hell knows?
I don't know, yeah.
I'm sure they have one, but was Adam Ginning the priority? I doubt it. Like, there was probably like one of their executives had his kid's Little League game to get to, and it was Adam, we're booking you a commercial, and there's a delay. Sorry. It was shit weather that night here in the area. Like, listen, I will always laugh at things like this, and it was funny that they had to go with 5, and they had a dude here and sent him back and then immediately needed him. But this is, sometimes shit just goes wrong.
I was just going to say, like, this was a very specific, literally everything that could have gone wrong leading up to and during that game went wrong. If this happened over and over, maybe I would have a little bit of worry, but this was just like,
I mean, they've drafted 7 defensemen in like half the games this year.
Yeah.
Like they've had too many defensemen for most of the season.
Right. Yeah. This was
they
just
had one
freak,
bad,
not
a freak thing happened. If Igor Zamula is like a little less sick,
right,
it's no one even knows this happened.
Exactly. Yes.
All right. And the second question from Stakatoshi: did Wade Allison get a fair shot here?
No.
Danny said Forster took his spot out of camp, but that feels a bit like revisionist history, as Tyson was underwhelming October to December. I worry other prospects will get the same treatment, i.e. Brink.
Same.
I don't. Wade Allison wasn't that good.
Okay, here's the thing.
He's got 17 points in the AHL.
Was Wade Allison going to change the face of the franchise? No. Would Wade Allison have developed into a solid fourth liner? Maybe.
Oh, I liked Allison. He was fun to watch when he was healthy. I think that's... do I think he got a fair shake? No.
He got hurt too much. Also, he acted like a giant piss baby when he got sent down, which is never going to be good for you when it comes to John Tortorella. No. And so I think he kind of dug his own grave with that behavior. And then also not lighting the world on fire in the AHL also didn't help. I'm probably too invested in Wade Allison than I ought to be. I just really liked him. Do I think it matters? Not really. Now, Bobby Brink is a different situation because Bobby Brink got sent down and not only didn't act like a piss baby about it.
11 points in 11 games.
He went down there and lit it up. But the problem is when he does come back up, he doesn't seem to have any leash whatsoever with Torts. The second he fucks up, he's out of the lineup. And I think that's a problem because Brink, I think, can be something.
Oh, yeah.
And he's not going to get the chance to be if you don't give him the chance to be.
I think he's earning his chance. I don't think a few games out of the lineup is going to kill him. Now, I want him in there. And when you look at a dude like Cam Atkinson...
How many is too many, though?
He's played a lot of games this season. And he was never supposed to make this team. He did kill it in camp. And the thing about Tyson Forster is, Tyson Forster is a million times better than Wade Allison.
Yeah.
To say he was underwhelming October to December... Scoring-wise, yes. He also graded out as one of the best defensive forwards in the league, and that kept him in the lineup.
Yeah.
He kept getting chances. They just weren't going in.
Right.
And if you just see him in puck battles, you see him in the neutral zone, you see his positioning, you get why coaches love him. And now all of a sudden the pucks are going in, and he looks like a top 6 forward.
Yep.
That's really good. So, I don't know if I agree with the Forster part of this. But, did Wade Allison get a fair shot? No. And we knew that was going to happen as soon as... John Tortorella repeated how many times gets hurt a lot.
Yeah.
I can't depend on him. That more than anything, I think kind of just dug his grave. And is it fair? No, but life ain't fair sometimes.
Yeah.
And when you look at the potential of them, it's what did we really lose? A
fourth liner, probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was on waivers at the start of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody took him. There's 31 teams. Nobody wanted him for nothing.
Fair.
So I don't know. I can't get that worked up about Wade Allison. And I just think the Bobby Brink comparison doesn't work for me because he made this team out of camp and he's been with the NHL roster for all but a couple of weeks of this season.
We're not comparing the players.
No. I just mean the way they're being treated.
I don't know. I like I said at the start of the show, I just worry that sometimes Torts puts guys into boxes. And once you're placed into the no box, it takes so much to get out of it. So perhaps Bobby Brink also needs to go into his office and take his shirt off and threaten to fight him, whatever Morgan Frost did. And then it'll be fine. But Bobby Brink looks like a small puppy dog. I'm not sure that he has it in him to ask the coach for anything, let alone ice time.
He needs to.
I know.
He needs to have that mentality because
he's 11 years old.
The coach doesn't believe you can be as great as you could be if you don't have that in you.
I know. So maybe it's going to take a few more scratches.
And he just needs to grow up a little in terms of his own ice play. When the coaches
don't fuck up so much,
the coaches ask for a line change, fucking get off the ice. Like,
yes.
that's why you're out of the lineup right now.
Yeah.
It's not even that you didn't make the play. It's that you didn't have the energy to make the play because you were out there for over a minute and a half after they told you to get off the ice. And everyone's held to that standard. Like, Cam Atkinson has been benched this season. Sean Couturier's played on the fourth line. This shit happens to everyone. I can't get that upset about Bobby Brink, who I never expected to see in the NHL this year anyway. I think he's ahead of schedule.
I'll try to be more reasonable. But I think no promises.
It could be a problem. I don't think it is yet.
All right.
Final question. I want to get to this one from John Berner. Yeah, we're skipping that other one because I want to get to this one before we finish. How tall is Charlie? I can't tell.
6'5".
Yeah, the thing is, Charlie's actually a giant, and we shoot him so I don't look like I'm only 4'8".
He's actually in the distance.
Yeah,
during this show.
He sits in the other studio.
You can't tell because the production is so good. Charlie's in the distance, so he looks like he's the same size as Bill, but he's actually enormous.
Olipop refrigerator is actually 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
But you can't see it because it's all the way back there. That's 100 feet behind me. Yeah. And that's where Charlie sits.
That's where Charlie sits.
Yes. All right.
He projects tall, doesn't he?
He does.
He does.
Yeah. We all silly like the mayor.